All right, the BBI task force team is set to wind up its validation hearings next week as it seeks to beat the June deadline to give a framework on implementation of its report, which calls for a referendum. The task force has a dicey decision on whether to take the country into campaign mode or recommend a parliamentary approach to alter the constitution, both avenues with the potential of splitting the country along political lines.
By kings.
The second round of the BBI hearings to beef up the Bomas BBI report draws to a close, with the final hearings to be held next week, with heightened calls for a referendum to change the law and expand the executive structure to foster inclusivity. The BBI task force team has the country's fate in its hands. Granted the mandate to come up with the implementation framework, the task force has to ponder on whether it is a referendum or parliamentary amendments to the constitution.
How do we revise the report, or do we come up with a subsequent, like a supplementary report, which will be a validation, which would appear possibly would be the best way to go. And then we also have to consider, do we propose the bills that we possibly want to pass?
A task that has to be completed by the end of June. The BBI hearings clouded by parallel rallies held by the political class, with one arm going full throttle with the rallies. Deputy President Dr. William Ruto's wing is opposed to the rallies, labelling them divisive. The Eldoret BBI rally scheduled for the 21st of March has been cancelled, with intelligence reports cautious to avoid a clash of pro and anti-BBI supporters.
I know some people hear the noise that is already going on and they think, oh, BBI is dividing the country. And to me, there's no way you can discuss things of such gravity and there will not be noise. And also a little bit of heat. That has to go when you consider what is the subject matter here.
For the team, it is about the subject matter and the memoranda presented to them by various interest groups. With regions coalescing together into clusters to consolidate their grievances, the BBI task force team is flooded with competing interests from competing regions.
What we are listening into now is the reactions of people to those proposals. There are really not many new proposals that are coming in. Some are. But what we are looking at is how does what we are hearing affect what we had proposed, so that we can calibrate the things that we had proposed where necessary. And then we have a more realistic report in terms of the recommendations we have made.
Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, Nairobi.